Hi everybody, welcome back to another fun-filled Stampin' with Faith video. We are currently in our January of 2021 series. We are focusing on the Jar of Flowers stamp set with the Jar of Flowers punch. That is a bundle currently found in the annual catalog. So bundles always save you 10%. So if you're a person who loves savings, you're going to love bundles, and I think you're going to love the card I've got for you today. This is for week 3, card number 2. So we do meet in person. Stampin' with Faith has a class, that will meet every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time in a Facebook meeting room. So if you are interested in joining that class, you can reach me at stampinwithfaith@yahoo.com. And I'll be happy to get you in that class, or you can just shoot me a message on Facebook under the Stampin' with Faith page as well. One of the things that you are going to need in addition to your stamp set and jar punch that is not listed in our ingredients today is the Magenta Madness ink spot. Now, you can use the full pad. Either one will work. I'm using the Magenta Madness because it is a bundle in available with Stampin' Up! Right now in the annual catalog. Looks like this baggie got tied in a knot. Give me just a second. That bundle comes with the in color of Just Jade as well. So if you sign up for my class, I do have one packet left available, and that is free to the next person that signs up for my class. The only requirements when you sign up for the class is that you purchase the Jar of Flowers bundle with me as your demonstrator. So I am going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to put up first our supply list on the screen solo. So I'll go ahead and have you, let me see if I can pull that really quickly. Looks like it's a little big. Done. That's gonna flash. There you go. Now you can see it all. So those are the supplies you will need. I'm going to go ahead and get my supplies out of the bag. And then I will show you the card that we're working on. You might have saw a sneak peek of that. And now I will show you. So go ahead and take a screenshot. And now I'm going to have you screenshot the measurements. These are the measurements that I'm going to be using. I won't go over them during the video, if I remember, so we're just gonna go through the assembly of the card pretty much. You will also need watercolor pencils. I will be using, I'm gonna probably just use blender Stampin' Blends today, just because I happen to have those handy. So let's go ahead and let's get back down to the table, and you can see what we're working on, and we'll get started. So how is everyone? I hope you're having a fantabulous day. So here's the card we're going to make. Super cute with the ribbon and that jar. The trick to this card is that we are going to use these bad boys right here. These are silica beads. So you know when you buy things that are leather, things that new shoes, your purse, your handbag. Some foods even come with some of them, but they always come with these little silica beads. Now you want to make sure they're not crushed. You always want to make sure that there's no charcoal or little bits in here. You want the actual round bead ones, because I've seen some different ones. So give me just a few moments here and we'll get started. I'm going to go ahead and move our card out of the way. We do need a Magenta Madness card base. That's what we are starting with. I'm going to go ahead and mount to that. my basic gray card mat. Just right here on the front. And then I also have, now you need to look at your cardstocks because you're going to have two basic white cardstocks in two different sizes. The one that is the same size as your basic gray, which is this one here for me, that's the one that's going to go on the inside of my card. Don't forget, gussy up the insides, draw those flowers, draw whatever you kind of want to go with that. All right, then next thing we are going to do is we are going to reach in here with our punch, and you are going to punch out towards the bottom but centered. So I'm pushing that punch all the way into the bottom of the punch itself, making sure that I have the same amount of card on both the left and the right. Punch that out. Now last week I told you to save your jar that we punched out from our wall. So we're going to take that jar and I'm going to grab my stamp set here. And I'm going to grab the largest jar stamp. I'm going to mount that onto a block. I'm going to grab, where's my box? Let's see what I got in here. I'm going to grab my basic gray ink spot. And let's ink up that jar. And then we're going to stamp right on top. Good deal. So now I'm going to flip that over to the back and put some adhesive on there. And here's my trick for lining this up, so that I know once I get my card done, it's going to line up with where I'm putting my jar, because I'm going to do this. So I dry fit the basic white piece here now. So once I dry fit that, I lift up, save that jar for later. You can use it on another project. And now I'm going to grab this piece. I'm going to remove the jar that I just stamped. I'll clean them later. And let's see, I want to grab, I used on that last one the tulip stamp, so I'm going to grab that next. Let's see, we'll need a bigger block for this one. I don't have my other one here. Well, let's do this. We've got a block here. All right, so we are going to just push that onto the block. And I'm going to ink that up with basic gray. Now my basic gray, being an ink spot, is going to be lighter than if you were using a traditional ink pad. Still think it's going to come out just fine. So what you want to do is you want to line it up so that the bottom edge of your flower stems here, this bottom edge, lines up with the top of that jar. Now I've got grid paper here underneath of me, so if I go off a little bit, it's not going to hurt a thing. It's going to just land on that grid paper, if anything, but it did not. So it lined up perfectly. So now let me grab, I'm going to use some of the blends to color this in. This color is called Rococo Rose. These are alcohol-based blends. Now we've been using, if you've watched any of the other videos in this series, we've been using watercolor pencils, and I totally would recommend them. However, watercolor pencils, we should be using our Memento inks for those. So I'm just adding a light color of that Rococo Rose in there. And let's see. Sorry if I'm bumping the camera. Let's grab a light green here. What color is this? We're going to use, light greeny apple green. And I'm going to come in here to my leaves or my foliage. Just going to add kind of where I see color. It's hard to for me to delineate where the lines go. So it's not going to hurt a thing. And I see I missed a flower. So let's get that Rococo Rose out again. And let's pick up the flower we missed. And let's see, I'm going to grab Petal Pink, the light Petal Pink. And I'm going to color just these little pieces here. See, that's going really fast. Okay, I think I'm done. I'm going to call it a day. So 3 colors I used: Petal Pink, Rococo Rose, and the light Granny Apple Green as well. So we are then going to go ahead and grab our shaker jar. I'm going to peel. This is the Mason Jar Shaker Domes, available in our annual catalog as well. We're going to grab that release paper off of the front. And we're going to set the jar dome down and then lay our paper on top of it. That's what I found to be the easiest. Okay, I'm going to push that aside for just a minute. I'm going to grab my piece that has my hole punch in it. And I made this one say happy birthday, so I will do that again. I'm going to mount my stamp. And then I'm inking up happy birthday this time. Last time I did the basic gray. This time I'm doing the Magenta Madness. Just so you guys can see. You can do it really in any color. It's really going to pop either way. All right. Now I've got my Magenta Madness ribbon. I'm going to pull that through. I've folded it in half and I've pulled it from the back, and then I'm just going to loop it through that little spot there. And then I'm going to grab some scissors and I'm just going to trim it so that it fits on my card. All right, we are almost done. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab, I like to do my adhesive first. So we're just going to lay some adhesive on the back of this. And then we're going to remove the release paper from that jar. Now this part you have to be careful because you do have exposed adhesive. It shouldn't be too bad since you're working with the beads and not a liquid. You're just going to pour those beads right into your mason jar. Anything gets on your adhesive, just pick it off, put it back into the jar. Now you could choose to use only about half of those beads. It does not matter. So now the trick is to, I'm going to be holding this up in the air, so you'll have to forgive me for a moment. But that's the only way to really get all of those beads in there without them going everywhere, and they went everywhere anyway. So let me just get them contained back into the jar. Okay, I only lost 2, it looks like, so we're good. There you go. So then that lines up with your jar. So last step is to I'm going to use some large glue dots here, some of the mini glue dots. I'm going to expose a glue dot, and I always put paper to glue dot and then peel so that it peels off the glue dot where I want it. And I'm not touching the glue dot because touching it would remove or release some of that sticky. So I'm actually going to put it across the belly like a banner, and that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all there was to it for this week. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.